Javed Akhtar sir to kindly deliver his address, please.
Rajput Sahab, Datta Sahab, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who has said it, but somebody has. That everybody rises to his level of inadequacy. Perhaps it is my day. Because I can see so many people sitting right in front of me who know about IP at least 1,000 times more than me. But I console myself that there are many people where they shouldn't have been, but one more will not bring the heavens down. A major thing happened in 2012 when the Parliament, both the houses of Parliament, unanimously, across the parties, passed this amendment, which gave us perhaps one of the finest copyright law in the world. And there are many people sitting here whom I should thank for that, who have played a very important role in it. But as you know that there are many laws, they are made and they remain in the book and they are never implemented. They never see the ground. It was 2017, after 5 years, when thanks to DPIIT and particularly the Minister, Honorable Minister, Shri Piyush Goyal, who went out of their way to see to it that it is implemented in its complete spirit. A minister calling the music companies and talking to them and convincing them that this is a good law. I mean, this is not expected from a minister, but that's what he did. He made it a personal crusade, and thankfully, ultimately in 2017, the writers and composers got an active and influential role in IPRS, Indian Performing Rights Society, which was there. And I mean, for namesake, we were there, but we had no power, no control at all. Now, allow me to be slightly modest. When we took over in 2017, the annual income at its peak all over the world and India was 42 crores. This year, we have crossed, it means 8 years or 7 years, 24, 730 crores. And it is still work in progress. I promise you, if things go right, in a couple of years, hopefully we'll cross 1,000 crore. And for that, I would like to thank the team, dedicated team of IPRS, CEO, Mr. Rakesh Nigam, and our legal head, Mr. Amit Datta, who is sitting here. They have knocked many doors which were closed on us. They were opened, otherwise they kicked them open. But things are still moving upwards. Today, Indian IPRS, Indian Performing Rights Society, is beyond any doubt accepted in the world as the fastest growing society under a royalty of writers and composers, Society for Writers and Composers, in the world. And the chairman of, what's the name of the, FICCI, mentioned it in his session in Tokyo a couple of years back. Now, I'll talk to you because I am not a technical person. There are many people sitting in the first row who would be able to talk about it with much more competence and mastery than I can. But as a writer, as a poet, as a lyricist, what is my point of view about the music? And what I feel about it, I can tell you. I mean, music is perhaps older than the hills. Because, I mean, we have found musical instruments which are almost 14,000 years. old. We have found, archaeologists have found a song written on a, what you call, on a clay plate, which is 4,000 years old. And this way, as far as the human being, the moment Homo sapien took the first taste of any culture or what you call humanity, music was born that day. Music and language, music and poetry are the daughters of the same mother. And the mother is sound. Ultimately, if you imagine what kind of human beings will be there who started walking on 2 feet, how did they communicate? Obviously, there was no language. That time, even no organized music with 7 notes. It was the sound. They would make different kinds of sounds. And when that sound froze, it became shabd. When it melted, it became swar. That way, not because I'm an Indian, but because I can look at things objectively, India can be called the land of music and poetry. Because this is the only country in the world that has 2,000 of year old traditions of music. Two classical traditions, Hindustani and Carnatic. When humans develop into small towns or small villages or small groups of people, that time the poetry was what we call today folk songs. The music was folk songs. But gradually we developed, and when you develop, life becomes more complicated, more intricate, more subtle, more layered. And then came the feudal era all over the world. It is not true of India, it's the world. This is the process. And then slowly the music was bifurcated. One went to the court, another to the people on the street. So we had two kinds of music. And this partition was because for the paucity of time, I won't go into much detail, but I think I'm standing in front of highly educated and aware audience, so I don't have to go into detail. It met after Industrial Revolution. And gradually a synthesis of both the music developed all over the world. People's music and the court's music. Because industrialization brings a new structure of society, new morality, new aesthetics, new availability of things. Music was available to everybody. There was a major invention, which we tend to neglect most of the time. There's the gramophone. Gramophone, life offers you packages. Every package has something good and something not so good. So did the gramophone. Gramophone, on one hand, took the work of the artist to millions, a place where artists could not have reached. But again, let's see, his music reached where he could not reach. This is negative. So what happened for the first time of the recording, the artist, whether the musician or the poet or the singer, they lost that control over their work because they didn't have to be present there. It could happen without them. Once they think that is enough and they are out, it happened. And perhaps we should be thankful to people like Victor Hugo and others who realize that our writing, our music, I forget the name of a musician in France who went to a restaurant and he ordered for lunch and somebody was playing his music. So he finished his lunch and got up and he said, I will not pay the bill because you are playing my music and your customers are enjoying it. And there was a big hullabaloo about it, and it came into papers, and the idea of copyright started, and then Victor Hugo took it to some other level and so on. industrialization organizes things, but sometimes what happens, that the tail starts wagging the dog. It happened in music world too. You know, when there is industrialization, the next step, logical step, is corporatization. If there is a corporate, you will have a marketing department who is directly, who is holding the pulse of the end user. And then what happens, that the artist is on one end, in between there's a huge machinery of some corporate, and on the other end, there's marketing department, which has the direct access to the audience or the listener. Now they tell him what is required in the market. And then this corporate tells the artist, this is what is required. And that is how in this process, the elbow room starts becoming less and less for the creativity. There are two ways of selling things. You make a thing and find the market. Or you find the market and make the thing accordingly. Unfortunately, it is a kind of it's an international inclination that nothing should be done for the first time. Second time it's all right. But first time is dangerous. This is what sells in the market. Don't experiment. Don't touch the house of cards. And so what happens? And again, it's an international process that you start getting assembly line productions. They are similar. They are in the same range. They are in the same temperament. Even the beat of most of the songs have become one. Can you imagine that? It means creativity has shrunk. It is sitting in a very tight cell. And that is what is happening and has happened all over the world. Now, what is the remedy? The artist doesn't have the choice to say no. The market is totally controlled. The artist doesn't have any elbow room because this is what the market wants, at least told by the marketing world. They are not looking for the market for you have made. They have asked you to do what the market is. It is not surprising. Let's go back a little. The gramophone, when it was invented, for 10 years they did not know the use of it. And they say, all right. I mean, when a boss gives a dictation, the stenographer can record it, and later she can write it down, or it can be used for this. It took them 10 years to realize that it can be used for music, because nothing should be done for the first time. The same way it is happening all over the world to music. And how do we break this? I'm not saying that we don't need marketing. Marketing is very important. Of course, without marketing, we can't survive in this competitive world. But there has to be a balance between creativity and the market. You have to make new markets. That is called marketing. If you are adhering to the market's order, then what kind of a marketing person you are? There is no creativity in you. There is no experiment, no courage. But how do you make this artist, the creative person, to be able to say, no, I will not do this. No, I have this right. That is where the IP laws come. And the fact is that it is not the victory, it will not be the victory of the artist versus the rest of them. No. If the work is innovative, if it has come from the heart, if it has variety, if it is heartfelt, then it will do better business, I promise you. Whatever you do from your depth of your heart, it reaches other people's heart. Your dishonesty, your manipulation, your cold-blooded attitude towards the work is also conveyed. Instinctively, people don't have to be geniuses to understand that. And that is why you can see all over the world today, the shelf life of music is reducing by the day because it is not heartfelt work, because it is ordered. They have been told to do this. They don't have any freedom. And when will they have this freedom? When they will make this music industry more alive, more potent, more strong? This can happen only by the creative work, good work, not by any kind of marketing. Because you are marketing substandard work. This can only happen if you give power to the artist, security. Whatever he has done, he should be rewarded for that. He should get his fair share. So economically, financially, he should be secured. He should be able to say no. As long as he is straight-jacketed in such conditions where he has to survive financially to get 2 square meals on his table for his family, how can he say no? I mean, there are martyrs who do that, but we can't expect everybody to become a martyr. We need security of the artist for the security of music industry. We need strong rules and rules that are implemented on the ground for a more strong and healthy music industry. I am thankful to the government that they have made very good laws, very good rules. But I'm afraid that those rules, many of these rules, are not totally implemented. And we intend to go back to the government, go back to even to our Prime Minister, to tell him that this is the rule which you had passed as the opposition without any hesitation, which you implemented as the government. But, I mean, they are not happening. And if it happens, I see a very bright future Indian film industry, music industry. Thank you.